Hey folks, well, it seems like a good evening for some story time. And I'm excited to get to share with you some tales. Tonight we'll just do one that's backwards for you, but it says Hometown Memories. And these are Blue Ridge tales from the North Carolina counties of Allegheny, Ashe, Avery, Caldwell, Watauga, and Wilkes. And this book was left to me by my great-grandmother, Carrie Ham Miller. The inscription on the inside here is, I love to see her handwriting. She used to write me so many letters, and I would write her. I still know her address by heart from many years ago. And it says she was born in Stratford, North Carolina. And Stratford is a small community between Sparta and Piney Creek. And now more people might think of it as a road out that way, but at one time it was an important community in our county. And so, yeah, sweet to see her handwriting here. So the very first tale in this book of these 6 counties is a tale from Allegheny County and covers a famous doctor from the time. And I remember my family telling lots of stories about this. For those musicians out there, my great uncle, who was a fiddler, Lon Brooks, there's a story about him and either Bert or Les Choate. I'm not sure, maybe one of my family members will know. But he was in a pickup truck and a gun went off in the back of the truck and shot through the bed of the truck into his shoulder. And either Bert or Les took care of him and took care of that wound. Lon apparently always said that had a great impact on his fiddling after that gunshot wound. But here we go. It's A House Call Remembered by Thomas B. Nolan. In January 1935, I was a member of a survey party which was transferred from Galax to Sparta. Our mission was to locate the center line of the soon-to-be constructed Blue Ridge Parkway. So this is in 1935. Our group found lodgings in several boarding houses. Some of us stayed at the Wayside Inn, a comfortable establishment raised many years ago, operated by the gracious and kind wife of Dr. Bert Choate. Now, if anybody knows where that Wayside Inn was, I would sure love to know where that was. Dr. Bert was a legend in Allegheny County. He began his practice in 1908, making house calls on horseback, seeing patients in his office, and dispensing loving care for more than 60 years. He shared his office with his brother, Lef. That old office site has for many years been a parking lot. Before the roads were paved, Dr. Bert ordered special larger diameter wheels for his cars, the better to traverse deep ruts and mud holes. Also, when nearly all cars were black, he had his cars painted yellow, so people who needed to stop him could see him from afar. In 1940, Dr. Bert and his wife, Janie Baker Choate, welcomed me as a son-in-law. Within a few months after I came to know him, I began to accompany him on house calls on nights and weekends, sometimes driving for him. On these trips, he imparted much local and medical history and filled me with experiences. We occasioned to answer a call to a remote home, generally in the Saddle Mountain area. Our only information was that an elderly woman had fallen against a door jamb and cut her scalp. The doctor had treated the family previously at their home. And Saddle Mountain is right off the Blue Ridge Parkway, out towards the Ennis area. So as you're heading kind of where the parkway is going to come across 89, you'll be getting close to Saddle Mountain out there. My grandmother lived not far from there. We arrived at the home, and Dr. Bert immediately determined his course of treatment. This was before the days of rural electricity. And as the doctor cleaned the wound and prepared the sutures, it was my job to hold the kerosene lamp close to the woman's head. The grandma was seated on a straight-backed oak split-bottom chair, and 3 generations were intently watching. The silence in the room was palpable as Dr. Bert concentrated on his task. As the needle pierced the skin, the sudden pain caused the woman to lose control of her bladder. The tense silence was interrupted by a noisy trickle filtering through the chair bottom. "Mama," a small child exclaimed into this embarrassing moment. "Listen to her bleed." The doctor almost dropped a stitch, and I almost dropped the lamp. But the patient recovered. All right, well, a house call remembered from Dr. Choate's son-in-law, Thomas B. Noland. Hope everybody enjoyed that little tale, and y'all have a great evening.